Ready to get more done? Let's do this. So today I'm answering a question from YouTube comments. If you have any questions you'd like me to answer, be sure to leave them below or tweet me or send them by carrier pigeon. Whatever you ask them, I'll answer them. I promise. Today's question is about how I get my stuff done, how I get things done, and what my kind of schedule looks like. The biggest tip I have for getting more things done is you have to find what works for you, because if you don't stick with it, you won't get anything done. It took me like 2.5 years, 3 years to figure out what I started doing this year, which actually works for me really, really well, and I love it. And that's batching tasks. Not just in chunks of time like hours, but actually I batch my days. I only do client calls on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. And mostly it's Tuesdays. Like I prioritize my client calls to Tuesday over Wednesday even. But Tuesday and Wednesday are anything I'm doing with clients on the phone, Skype, Google Hangouts, whatever. Those happen on Tuesdays and Wednesdays. Thursdays are podcast days for me, so I try and book any interviews that I can for other people's shows on Thursdays as well. Obviously, that's not perfect because you kind of have to work with a podcaster's schedule, but whenever possible, I book them for Thursdays. That's also when I do all of my guest recordings for my show. I record my standalone show, I edit, all of that stuff happens on Thursdays. And Friday is business development day for me. So I do business development on Friday, meaning I meet with my accountability partners that I have on Friday mornings. And then the rest of Friday is implementation and getting stuff done to move my business forward. So it could be anything from updating my programs to writing new programs to creating content like Hit the Mic TV and things like that. Saturdays, I do work Saturday mornings, are my catch-all day. Anything that didn't happen during the week that needed to have happened, that happens on Saturday mornings. I will also let you know that I quite often work on Mondays for a little while as well, because that is the day while Charles is still at his day job until the end of the year. That's the one day we're in the office together. I do a little bit of work on Mondays, but that is mostly because it's me training him, getting him transitioned, and handing off more and more and more of the business to him from the back end side. Also, I want to let you know, I don't work super long days. The other way for me that it's easier for me to get more done is to not have very long to do it. So if I have a 10-hour day, I tend not to be productive. I tend to be able to get more done if I have like a 5-hour day. So if I have a deadline, I'm a lot more productive. So I tend to be done working by sometime between noon and 2 most days. Very, very, very rarely will you find me working after 2 o'clock. If it's after 2 o'clock, it's because I had to book a meeting or something after 2. Otherwise, I'm usually done at 2 o'clock. That's what works for me. That's not necessarily what works for everybody. I know some people do really well with like 3 12-hour days a week or 5 12-hour days a week. It's what works for you and what works for your business. I will also sort of put in this caveat. It took me working the 12-hour days, 6 days a week before that to get to a point where I had the flexibility to work at the price point that allows me to work less during the day. So it does take time to figure out what works for you, how to get things done, how to stay productive, how to stay on task. So try different things and figure out what works for you, and then just stick with it. I do check-ins from time to time to make sure that I am actually being productive in my time, because I am super guilty of the leaving my email open all day or spending 2 hours on Google Plus and not knowing how I did it. So I do check-ins regularly to make sure that I am staying on track and getting things done and staying productive so that I can enjoy my time away from this big machine and relax and enjoy my family, which is like the point, right? It is. So I'd love to hear what you do and what your schedule looks like. So hit the comments below and tell me. And of course, leave any questions you'd like to see me answer in a future episode there. I would love to hear from you. That's my favorite part of the show. Like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, all of that good stuff. I appreciate your support of the show. Other than that, I will see you guys next time. Now, I do want to talk about why it's important to repurpose content first. And that's because your content and your knowledge and your skill set and everything in here is super, super important.